What is going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and it's a windy day here in New York City. Now I'm going to be exploring the neighborhood of Briarwood in Queens. A couple of years ago, I explored a little bit of the neighborhood. I walked the whole main street from here all the way to Flushing, Queens, but this time I'm going to dedicate a proper video to the section of Briarwood. I think it's mostly like a residential area. It borders Jamaica, Queens, and there's like a lot of apartment complex. This is the subway station over here. I think this is Parsons Boulevard. That might be the neighborhood over there. So I'm gonna figure how can I make my way to the other side and explore the neighborhood and take you guys with me, so join me. So one thing about the subway station is literally like in the highway and like in the park. But one way to get here is try to figure your way to Main Street. So this is Parsons Boulevard. I'm gonna cross the street, cross it to the other side and make my way throughout the buildings. I'll show you what's going on over here. Head to traffic jam. Can't see it pretty clear, but yeah. I'm gonna be crossing the street over here to the other side of the neighborhood. Actually, I'm gonna go the other side where the light is, and then they got like a plaza over here. So it's pretty cool. And this neighborhood is a little bit pushed back, you know. I would say probably like a 40-minute commute from Manhattan. But then I think Main Street is over that way. And if you walk Main Street the entire length, it'll take you all the way to Flushing, Queens, which I did that a couple of years ago, you know. But today I'm gonna focus a video in Briarwood to see what the neighborhood has to offer. So this over here is 84th Street. You can see a couple of businesses around Parsons Boulevard. But I'm gonna start making my way deep in the neighborhood. And like I said, it's pretty much residential. Got a couple of businesses happening over here. I'll look at the map to see where else can I walk. And I'll probably end up close to Suffolk Boulevard by Jamaica, Queens. Damn, these past days, it looks like winter's trying to say a goodbye to us, because like I say, it hasn't been like a bad weather, but this past 2 days, the wind chill has been intense, so pretty windy. It feels like if you're in a storm, but you know, like really cold. Like in a couple of weeks this will start warming up, and then spring season to be here. So to have an idea, here it's a lot of brick buildings. This is 84th Street, which is kind of like a street that connects you throughout the entire Briarwood from one side of the neighborhood to another one. It will take you to Grand Central Parkway, which I'm going to walk towards that way. But I'm going to merge into one of these streets over here. It does like a curve around. It will take me back to the same street, 84th Drive. But I want to see what it looks like. This over here reminds me a little bit of Parkchester and Stuytown in Manhattan. Like the same designs of the buildings, you know. And you got a playground for the kids. But so far I've seen only a few blocks, and so far I'm loving it. Like it gives you like that peace and quiet you can find with a good subway system that will take you all the way to Manhattan or any other place in New York City. But yeah, that's why I always say many times that Queens is like one of my favorite boroughs, and it's a borough that I would never get bored of exploring, because there's so much to see, so much to offer, and it's the biggest borough in New York City. And then one thing, the buildings, they look pretty much similar, so if you ever live here or to give you an address, just read the numbers of the buildings, that way you know where exactly you are. But yeah, I like how the street goes around, like curvy. Like I say, the street's gonna take me back to the other street. Once I get to 84th Street, I'll walk it all the way to Grand Central Parkway. See what's going on, but look, so far pretty beautiful. I believe in the springtime and the summer is gonna be even nicer when the trees, you know, when the leaves are glowing. I can hear the birds already. But yeah, this is a neighborhood that doesn't get much of an attention. I guess because it's pretty much more residential, but I think it's pretty interesting, you know. I love exploring off the beaten paths, and I love exploring like a lot of neighborhoods that don't give much attention. And here are some apartments that have their own driveway, like the ones over here. And then if I go over that way, it's gonna turn into houses. Resembles a bit of some parts in Flushing and some parts of Kew Gardens, but remember, this over here borders with Kew Gardens. And also Jamaica, man. Look at this, it's gonna be even nicer over here. And over here you see the beautiful houses with the trees. Gives you a little bit of a feel like if you're in the suburbs. And that's one thing, you know, pretty interesting about Queens or many other neighborhoods in New York. Like you take the subway train and then around the subway train, it gives you about like if you're in the city with a tall apartment complex, but then once you merge and you get off the main street, it looks like this, like regular houses, you know, surrounded. So not only diversity with the people, but diversity, you know, with the architecture of the buildings. Then there's another street ahead of me, which is 84th Street. So I'll show you. So you see all these beautiful houses right here. Gotta watch my step too. But then it takes me to 84 Drive, which is the street that I was walking in. If you look at the map, it goes like in a curve. I was walking literally like over that way, but I'm gonna walk towards this way because I think it takes me all the way to the end. So I'm just randomly picking up streets and looking at the map to see what's going on. But yeah, mostly apartment complex over here. Pretty windy, so I don't know how it's gonna sound, how the quality will sound. I'll forgive me if it's not the best, but I'm just trying to show you, you know, what's around here. Then over here, it seems like they have a school and they're doing some repairs over here, like a garden. You can't really see it clear because of the fence, and then I guess like a street art they're gonna do with a wall. But yeah, more apartments over here. Wow, it is windy. And then to this side, you got some beautiful houses. I even see a cat there ahead of me. Yeah, look at this house. I like the design. Feels like those European houses. Wow, it's cute. I like it. Like I told you, New York City never stops to impress me with the architecture they have here. Look at the entrance of this one. Like the structure of the building kind of makes you feel like if you're in the West Coast. Like the way how the building is made, like concrete or cement. Because usually over here the houses are made kind of like wood here in the East Coast. And then you got like more apartments on the other side. Like this one, and houses in the East Coast, they look more like this one.
Are you working today? Good job.
And then you got some apartments over here. So yeah, pretty nice, pretty interesting. I like the sky, how blue it is. So I made a little detour over here to show you what's going on. Oh, it's a little windy out there, but look. Once you merge in one of the regular streets, it's just houses. But you see this pretty much in a lot of neighborhoods in Queens. So yeah, nothing crazy, but you know, it's pretty interesting. And now I'm gonna walk the street all the way to the end to Grand Central Parkway, merge to the right, then make another right to 150th Street and walk it all the way to the end to, I think, Hillside Avenue. That's kind of like the border of Jamaica, Queens with Briarwood. And probably wrap up the video over there. Damn, one thing crazy is that you walk in a neighborhood like this that's pretty quiet. You would not imagine anything, but literally like a block down, it's Grand Central Parkway, which is all the traffic going over there. Pretty crazy. So I'm gonna see what it looks like when I walk nearby that main highway. That highway passes by the Water Airport, and I think it passes by the Met Stadium. So we're gonna see what's going on. This is what I'm talking about, residential area. Beautiful houses here to the other side. Then it looks like there's more houses, but like underneath is the parkway. So I think at some point it helps that the parkway is way underneath in the regular neighborhood, because it doesn't make it like too noisy for the people that live here right by the parkway. You know, I guess with technology and all of that. So gonna do like 2 more blocks, I believe, and merge back to 150th Street. Just to say, you cannot see it. Maybe if I can raise this, but you see the cars over there like going Grand Central Parkway. A pretty busy parkway right here. And then once you get off the parkway, it's just a regular neighborhood like this with beautiful houses. It's like magic. I don't know, I'm just fascinated by the way, you know, with engineering and architecture. And then you got like nice houses like this. Queens, you know, pretty residential. The neighborhood of Briarwood. This is kind of like the borderline. That's another section over there, another part of Queens. You got these beautiful houses. Like I said, I really love the triangle. It's literally like apartments connected with each other. And I think up ahead of me is 150. So like I say, I'm gonna make that right to 150 and walk it all the way straight probably to Hillside Avenue unless I see something interesting. But I will walk straight to Hillside Avenue, which in Hillside Avenue divides Jamaica with Briarwood. Then I'll probably walk a couple of blocks until Parsons Boulevard and wrap up the video over there. And this is 150th Street, nothing crazy, at least on this side, just regular houses. I'm not sure if I'm gonna find something more interesting ahead of me. All I know is that this street connects Grand Central Parkway with Jamaica, Queens. But we will walk and keep exploring and see what's happening if we find something interesting ahead of us. And the houses here are a little bit more different. Over here it feels a little bit more like the city vibe, or like other parts of Queens. But then ahead of me I see a street and I see some houses that have like a nice style of architecture. So here you can see throughout the blocks, some blocks are nicer than another one. One thing about New York, you gotta watch your step with the trees and the sidewalk. If not, you're gonna have a bad fall. But yeah, it's beautiful. I think the sunset's starting to fall down. I like this house here in the corner with the trees. And you can hear the birds too. We got more over here. It's just peaceful and quiet right here. And I love it. I love it. This is another nice street right here, but the sun will hit me straight in the eye. At some point, I'm not gonna lie, like the beautiful houses here kind of resembles a little bit of Dyker Heights in Brooklyn. Like the way how the houses are designed. The only thing over there, they set up all the Christmas lights, but this is like a more local vibe over here, but it's pretty cool. Then the street keeps going. See the beautiful tree. I just wish there was leaves, but give it a couple of weeks and it should be coming out maybe in the next month. And you got these beautiful houses. Unless it could be like apartment, those are pretty big. There might be a couple of apartments inside these houses, who knows. And ahead of me there's not much, but I see probably like a tall building, which it must be like the division of Jamaica, Queens. Like I say, and I own you guys, I've been saying that for a while, so I'm gonna try to figure out when can I do it. I gotta make a proper video for the neighborhood of Jamaica, Queens, because I think it's a neighborhood that's pretty interesting to explore. A lot of diversity. It has Jamaica Avenue, which is probably one of the biggest shopping streets in the whole New York City. Went there years ago, so it'll be nice to walk over there and see what's happening and document it for you guys. Then over here, the street starts going down the hill. Then one thing you gotta know is if you make a left, there's a pretty wealthy area called Jamaica Estates. Kind of like this, it's like a hill, but like even nicer houses than the one you see over here. I've never been there, but I heard about it, so probably when I do my Jamaica video, I'll explore the section. Especially probably in the spring or the summertime when it starts getting dark a little bit later. But yeah, the hills over there, then Hillside Avenue is over there, and now I already start seeing the buildings of Jamaica, Queens. But this is still Briarwood. Remember, I'm focusing this video in Briarwood, Queens, my favorite borough in New York City. But yeah, pretty interesting. Damn, one thing interesting about this side over here, especially by Hillside Avenue that borders Briarwood and Jamaica, is I think it's a lot of Bangladeshi people, or mostly South Asian community. So that's something, I noticed it because as I'm walking around here, I started seeing the people with the dresses and the outfits, so that's something that's pretty cool. And then this over here is Hillside Avenue. And over there where you see this building, that's Jamaica, Queens. But this over here is Briarwood. Then Parsons Boulevard is over that way. But if you go to the other side of Hillside by 179, it gets even nicer, even more interesting. So it's a good area to explore. So that was the end of my video exploring Briarwood here in Queens, New York. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.